Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kaustubh and you are watching United TNT through and through. That is what the short form is for. So, everyone knows what has recently transpired at Manchester United. Yet another drawback, this one a very big one. Rubem Amorim has been sacked at Manchester United. This comes after the explosive interview that he gave after our Leeds United match on Sunday evening. Some can say that this was coming, some are in shock that how could this happen. In this video, I will try and cover what my view is on the whole Rubem Amorim saga. Coming to Rubem Amorim's stats at United first. In total, Rubem Amorim managed 63 matches for Manchester United Football Club. He had a subpar win percentage of 38.1%. Overall, of those 64 matches, he could only win 24. We drew around 19 of those matches and we lost around 21. So that's a pretty abysmal record, I would say. If you go back and look at the stats, this is the lowest win percentage of any manager through the new Premier League era. This is the second lowest win percentage after Ralf Ragnick, who was just a caretaker interim manager for good 3 to 4 months. So pretty much Ruben Amorim's stats tell us what the struggles were for United over the last 14 months. He was appointed the head coach on 1st of November 2024, if I'm not wrong. And it's been roughly 14 months that he's taken control of the club. So that stats are pretty damning, right? In the Premier League itself, out of the 47 matches that he has managed, he has only managed to win 15 of those, right? Again, one of the lowest win percentages by any manager for United over the Premier League era. The results currently also were not good. We have just won 3 matches out of the 10 to 11 matches that we've played in the last 2 months. This specifically started about the end of October and the beginning of November when Ruben Amorim was named manager of the month for the month of October. So that was back-to-back performances, good performances, 2-1 win against Liverpool, Sunderland, right? And that was the second 3 match winning streak that Ruben Amorim had in his entirety of managing Manchester United. So that is itself a very damning stat, right? That a manager who's been there for 14 months has only won 3 matches in a row for twice in those 14 months. The first one was back in 2024-25 season, which was a Premier League game, a Europa League game, and then a Premier League game. And now in October with Liverpool, Sunderland, and one more team. Here, some people are angry of why he has been sacked. Some people are happy that he has been sacked. If you just go about numbers, the numbers are pretty underwhelming. The performances lately have been underwhelming to say the least. Just giving referencing on the Premier League performance, Ruben Amorim has averaged 1.23 points per game throughout his career, which is very low. He has lost 19 matches, as I said before. That is the second highest matches that a manager has lost during his term. The first one was Ang Postecoglou, who already has been sacked at Tottenham, right? So the stats speaks for itself. The United board has also cited these stats as the reason to let Ruben Amorim go. The performances have not been good. There were multiple discussions that were happening with the United hierarchy. There was a emergency meeting done on Friday with Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, and I think everything started going down from that meeting, and that is why we saw a post-match reaction by Ruben Amorim after the Leeds game that tried and mentioned that he is the manager of Manchester United and not the head coach. There were some differences between the hierarchy and him, and that is why when the club statement came out, it said that the head coach has been sacked, right? So the United hierarchy making sure that everyone knows that he was the head coach and not the manager, which he was claiming in the last interview. Where does this leave us now? We are currently going to be run under interim manager, which will be Darren Fletcher, the club legend. He has been managing the under 18s currently for the club, and now for a foreseeable future, he will be the interim head coach of Manchester United. We do not know currently who we would like to appoint. There are rumors, and I will talk about that in the coming segment as well. But as of now, it is just Darren Fletcher who has been given this interim role. Is it interim or is it interim till the end of the season? That is still being debated. But I think for now, that is a good choice. But I don't know if he's the right guy to end the season with. If there is some good coach, good manager that is available now, we should get him in now so that he can prepare the team for the next season as well. And we don't have to run behind managers in the month of June and July and then miss out on key signings that we would probably want to do. So this is again as per my opinion and where I feel managers should fit in at the Manchester United team. Top of the list would be Oliver Glasner for me. He has proven how good a coach he is. With Frankfurt making them win the Europa League, then with Crystal Palace making them win the first trophy for the club, the FA Cup last year. They have been performing extremely, extremely well. They also play a 3-4-3 system, a 3-5-2 system, right? Which works very well for the team. I think they are strong in attack, they are solid in defense. And Oliver Glasner is a very good man manager. He lets his authority speak, not just with the team, but with the hierarchy as well, which is a good thing. But I think that can also be a debatable point for United's hierarchy that they want someone to do what they like and not probably come up with ideas about themselves. So I think that will always be a debate. But I think Oliver Glasner will be a very, very good coach for United. Another choice for me would be, and this is just being optimistic because I know this might not happen at all, but Unai Emery, right? He has done a wonderful job at Aston Villa, which we all have seen. Previously, before that, with Villarreal, Mm, he had led them to a Europa League title as well. His time at Arsenal and PSG was a little colored, right? He could not deliver what he was trying to envision. And I think his redemption was Villarreal and then Aston Villa right now sitting third, joint third with Manchester City right now, and the table speaks volume. So I think Unai Emery will be a good choice. Other names that I would probably throw out there would be Enzo Maresca. But then again, Enzo Maresca is a fairly new coach. I do not think that we need to go with some young blood as a United manager currently. We've seen it with Ruben Amorim. Eric Ten Hag also was a youngish coach, right? I think United needs experience, especially by someone who knows how to manage egos, who knows how to manage expectations, right? Over the last two managers, be it Eric Ten Hag or be it Ruben Amorim, we have seen a lot of good players leave because of their discontent with the manager, right? Classic tale, Marcus Rashford not sitting well with Ruben Amorim. Alejandro Garnacho, one of the brightest stars that we had coming up from the academy, has left United because he was not gelling well with the coach. These are losses for the club. Managers will come and go, but players are the ones who will probably stay for longer, have a longevity at the club, and deliver. So I think we've lost a couple of players with each of the last two managers that we've had. With Eric Ten Hag, it was first Ronaldo, right? The the romance of him coming back to United was ended in a bittersweet note with that explosive Piers Morgan interview. I think that was a collateral damage with Eric Ten Hag not working well with Ronaldo. Jadon Sancho with Eric Ten Hag again. In between Ruben Amorim and Ten Hag, we let go Scott McTominay, Victor Lindelof. McTominay, as we all know, was the MVP or the most valuable player for Serie A last year. He was the sole reason that Napoli won the Serie A title last year, right? The Scudetto. And he's been performing extremely well this year as well. So these are players that would have excelled at United, but because of the proper not the proper manager at that point of time, we have lost these players. And I would not want to do that again. And hence, I expect the United hierarchy to sign a manager who is a little experienced, has better man management, and can understand what United needs at this time, right? So, top picks again would be Oliver Glasner, Enzo Maresca, Unai Emery, right? There is another name, Andoni Ariola from Bournemouth, right? He's a very good coach, knows what he wants his team to do. Don't know if he cuts the ranks to be a manager at one of the biggest clubs in the world. But again, then it's a chance, right? And do we want to take a chance and invest another 1.5 years in a manager who we do not know if will come through or not? So again, a question mark. But these are the few names that will probably float around for the next 1 to 2 weeks till we decide who the permanent manager will be. Oliver Glasner, Enzo Maresca, Unai Emery, Andoni Ariola, Michael Carrick, who is currently managing in the championship but has strong ties to the club. One of our own, right? We did that before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Michael Carrick can always be a name that will be thrown there, and the love between the Ineos group, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Gareth Southgate, right? That name will always be there. Although I do not think Gareth Southgate can manage a club like Manchester United, he has let England football team down on so many occasions with his tactics. I would not want to see that week in, week out with Manchester United as well. So these are the names that I feel will be in the mix. If you ask me that can I pinpoint and pick who should be the manager for Manchester United, I don't think I can also do that. And I get it how difficult it is for the United hierarchy as well. But yeah, let's see who the name is and who becomes our manager in the coming weeks and months. Now, with the sacking of Ruben Amorim, there will be a lot of players who will feel the heat, will be happy, because not each player or not every player has the same kind of relationship with a manager, right? So I think players like Marcus Rashford will be extremely, extremely happy that he will now have a say of coming back to United after his loan spell with Barcelona gets over and want to play for United again. He's a Mancunian through and through, born, brought up, always been a Manchester United supporter from childhood, wanted to play for this club and this club only. But because of the relationship that he had with Amorim and how broken it was, he had to take that call and leave the club on loan. I am glad that it was a loan, though it is with an option to buy, but we still have a chance for him to come back to United and be the star that he always was at United. He performed underwhelmingly over the last 2 years. I will not shy away from saying that. But still, he has the talent, he has the will, he has the charisma to represent Manchester United at a global stage. And I would want that to happen again, knowing that the Amorim era is over and there is a pathway for Rashford to come back. So why not? Kobe Mainu would be another player who would be more or less happy with this decision because his playing time had been cut out to zero this season. And this was solely because of Amorim's tactics and strategies that he wanted to implement and the kind of work that he wanted Kobe Mainu to do. And probably he was not able to do it or he did not want to do it and play in that position. So I think Mainu is one other player who will be impacted in a positive way from this departure. Manu Garte, Joshua Zirkzee, these are two other players who are in and out of the team, not favorable, were not favorable by Ruben Amorim. I think these two players will also have a happier tone of Ruben Amorim being sacked. And the The funny one would be Alejandro Garnacho. I think he already posted on one of the Instagram posts of Ruben Amorim getting sacked as a smiley. And I think that was the biggest rift that we saw between a manager and a player. And it had become so evident that Garnacho cannot play for United under Amorim. And back then, there was no vision that Amorim will be sacked. It was always like that Amorim is the future for United, and I think Garnacho, that is why took that decision and left for Chelsea. I think that was the biggest loss for us this transfer window, right? He is a gem of a player. If he was given good support, good room to improve, and good strategic and tactical advices in the game, he would have become a very good player. And I think I still believe he will become a very good player, but sadly not for United now. So these are 3 to 5 players that I feel will feel happier from the sacking. The players that probably will feel sad has to be Bruno and Dallo from the Portuguese connection. Bruno Fernandes has openly said that he likes the manager, he loves the tactics. He also stated that he wanted to leave the club this summer, but it was Amorim who said or who convinced him not to leave the club this summer, right? So I think Fernandes will be a little on the negative note of him being sacked. Other than that, I think Mbemo, Ahmad, Cunha, these are players who would excel under any manager, right? So I don't think they will feel saddened by the sacking of Amorim. They will know that they got the chance under him, they were signed under him, but they were signed for a reason, and that reason was that they are good players. And I think good players excel under any manager. So I don't think there is a problem for those players. So, all in all, my opinion is that Amorim being sacked is a little hasty by the Manchester United board. We had to give him time. It was a philosophy that he wanted to play out with, which was the 3-4-3 kind of formation. I have seen matches where that 3-4-3 was getting together probably how he wanted. I think there were some players that were missing for his jigsaw. Another 1 to 2 windows, he might have gotten those players, and we would have played the beautiful football that Sporting was playing, that Palace is playing under Glasner. There are a lot of managers who are playing the 3-4-3, and it's not that 3-4-3 is bad. It is just that the kind of players have to play that system. And currently, United did not have those players. Last year's league position 15th in the table showed us that because it was the same system being played with the players. This year, we added players and we have seen green shoots. So I think I was never a supporter of sack Amarim because we are not getting results. I was always a supporter of give a manager time. Every 1.5 season we are changing managers, not even two. The last manager to do 2 full seasons was Eric Ten Hag. That was also after a lot of debate because it was in the year that after the FA Cup final he would be sacked, which was the end of the second season for him. But he started the third season and within 3 months he was sacked, right? Before that it was Oli, before that it was Ragnick, that was interim, before that it was Jose, Louis Van Gaal, David Moyes. All of these managers have not been given time. Post Fergie, I think we have now had 10 different managers. The longest serving manager out of these was Jose Mourinho. The best win percentage out of all these was Jose Mourinho, which was around 58%. Jose Mourinho was the most successful manager for United post Fergie era, where he won the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. Although Eric Ten Hag won 2 cups as well, but it was the Carabao and the FA Cup. So I think time is what we need to give any manager to succeed. Take the example of Mikel Arteta. He took 2 to 3 years to just get his concepts right, his team selection right, the players that he has in the team. And that's when they started challenging for titles. Although Arsenal has not won anything over the last 3 to 5 years, but still they are under contention of winning the Premier League. And I think this year they will win the Premier League. They might be a very strong favorite for Champions League, although I do not think they will win the Champions League. It will just be the Premier League. But after 25 years of waiting for the title, it will be sweet for them. So Arteta was given time. And that is what we needed to do. You see, Chelsea. Chelsea has sacked five managers or four managers since 2020 2021 season, right? After they won the Champions League. And that shows there is no consistency, there is no set style of playing for that club, right? That is what is missing at United. We keep changing managers, we keep changing style of play, we keep changing the players who want to fit into that style of play, and that is where we are lacking. Clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City right now have gotten that consistency. They exactly know how to play, they exactly know what kind of players they want. And even if the manager is changing, those players still work. Take a classic example of Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool with a set of players, Arne Slot coming into the club, winning the next season with the same set of players without adding anyone else, right? They have the struggles this year, but that is something for them to figure out. But again, consistency was what helped them win the title, right? And I think that is what we need. That is from the United's perspective. For Amorim, I think what he could have done better to stay the United manager was being a little more flexible, not being very arrogant about the position or the style of football that he wants to play. If someone knows that you do not have the kind of players to play that style, you should change. Take a classic example of Pep Guardiola. When he came in 2016, he did not have the players that could play his tiki-taka style of football that he played at Barcelona or Bayern Munich for that matter as well. He waited for a season, he adapted in that season. He learned about winning second balls, which was not his game. It was always controlled possession that Guardiola teams used to play. But if you see City now, they are masters of pressing and winning the second ball. And I think that is what he did. He adapted to the Premier League when he came in the first year. He did not win anything in the first year. I think he finished fourth. But the next year he won the Premier League because he was flexible. I think Amorim over the last 14 months has played away from the 3-4-3 position or the style of formation once, which was with Newcastle 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back. That tells you how non-flexible Ruben Amorim was from his approach. I think that was his kryptonite, right? That took him down finally. Had he been a little more flexible with the formations, he would have done better. And I think I always believed that Ruben Amorim would come good over the years because he had the passion, he had the spark. He believed what Manchester United was, what the club stood for, what does it mean to the fans, to the supporters, right? He believed in all of it. And I think that showed in his interviews as well. He was very raw, he was very sensitive to performances, comments, and everything. So I think a little bit tweak, if he had done there, we would have seen him lead United for a further time as well, right? But here we are, 2025, 2025, 26 season, middle of the season, we have parted away with our manager. The Burnley game will be the first game under the interim manager Darren Fletcher. Let's see how he does or how he picks his team, the first team, what is the score. There is always conjecture around Manchester United. The Burnley game becomes even more bigger now. It was big before as well because of the position that we were in and the points that we had in the table. Now it's even bigger because this will be the first match after Amarim, right? And how we perform, what is the style of play, what is the commitment by the players, everything will be scrutinized, right? So let's see how that goes. I will come back with the team that we should play for Burnley by tomorrow, and we will have a debate on that. Till then, if you liked my content, if you liked what I spoke about, if you want to comment and let me know if there is some different view that you guys have, please do. As I said, this is something that I'm doing out of passion, and I want to build a community for myself who are like minded fellow United supporters who want to see the club succeed finally after the Fergie era, probably within this decade, and not wait for the next decade to start. Please, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more TNT explosive comments, and views very, very soon. Take care.